Good evening and welcome to the City of Isani City Council meeting for Tuesday, August 18th. I'd like to call this meeting to order. If we could all rise for Pledge Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doing roll call, all council members are present. Councilman Brigley is fashionably late, as always. Any public comment at this time? Any agenda modifications? You did state no, Ms. Wood. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt.
I have a motion to adopt the agenda by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Approval of the City Council minutes for August 5th, which was a regular meeting of City Council. August 5th was a budget work session. June 16th, which was a planning commission. And July 7th, which was an economic development authority.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Announcements. Park and Recreation and Culture Board meeting will be Tuesday, August 25th at 6 p.m. City Council meeting will be Tuesday, September 1st at 7 p.m. with an EDA meeting immediately following that City Council meeting. Any council committee reports? None at this time. Now let's move on to business items. K1, the 105 Railroad Avenue discussion. Ms. Selman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the last council meeting, the council decided to give the applicant at 105 Railroad Avenue another 2 weeks to finish the roofing project and their siding project. As of this morning, there is still outstanding inspections for installation of vapor barrier and then a final inspection to close out the permit.
Everything else was completed though, Ms. Selman?
Yes, except for those items.
Do we know when they're going to inspect that?
Well, as I stated at the last meeting, when they're ready, they call for their inspection, so we would have to have them speak on that.
Can we have you guys step up here, if you wouldn't mind, please? State your name and address for the record.
Mike Koba, 105 Railroad. Mary Koba, 105 Railroad. I have a lot I'd like to say
Okay.
that pertains to this.
Mike, will you push that button on there so it turns green? Perfect.
First off, I'd like to say is I have a problem with this do not occupy, which was illegally posted. This was originally, when the wall fell out, we were posted do not occupy. We put the wall in. We applied for the building permit, and you guys gave us a building permit. We weren't allowed to touch the wall or anything in the building until we got the permit in August, okay? You then, at that time, they came out and they took off the do not occupy order on our building, okay? She gave us 3 weeks to complete the project, or she posted this one,
Who's she?
Ms. Selman.
Okay.
What it says on here is, it's an order to repair that it said, I'll give it to you if you'd like. This is to notify all parties concerned that the above named property has been found in violation of order to repair, and the date is 6/8 of 19. Now, 6/8 of 19, we were just told to put the wall back in. That was just the wall. Then it goes on to say that this building cannot be occupied for the purposes of repairing the building or order to be repaired until final inspection. We have letters to the city that the building was safe. You gave us 3 weeks. She gave us 3 weeks to finish all of the repairs on the building, or she posted this on. The building, since then, the letter that says the building is safe was dated in June. You have that letter on file. If you don't, I have copies of it.
June of,
19,
okay.
okay?
Let's,
So, I have a lot to say. I wish you would just hear me out here. So, why our occupancy has been taken away for over a year, almost a year, when the building was deemed safe, is not fair, and it's not legal. Secondly, because the basis needs to be a statute of what we failed to do. All of the time, at the time this was put on our building, all the other things were done. The clips were on, all those. If you'd like to read what the engineer had wrote, it probably would be a good idea. I wish you would have come over to the shop so we could go through the whole thing and you'd understand me. It needed some, he wanted us to switch out the 2x12s that were on top of the concrete wall, that were the, on the bottom. The lumberyard sent us not treated. We took it out and changed them. That was part of it. It had nothing to do with structure. There were clips that had to be put on. We put all those on. And still our occupancy was taken away. And it's still being held to this day. Now, my problem is, I think one of the reasons why you were getting complaints on the building is we were getting people coming over to our shop and telling us it was a done deal, the building was coming down. And wanted to know why we were fixing it if the building's coming down. She had told numerous people in the community that the building was being torn down, it's a done deal.
That's not true.
It is true, I could give you names.
Let's stop.
No, we're
Let's-
not.
Mary,
You know
stop
what?
a minute,
You have
please.
held our occupancy even to this day. Even to this day. The building was deemed safe, and yet you won't let us use it for a year? It was deemed safe last.
Mary, do you understand that we're trying to work with you?
We're trying to work with you too.
Okay,
but
then why
you
are you
understand?
throwing stones at a glass
I'm
house right
trying to
now?
explain something to you.
You're insulting us is what you're
I don't
doing.
mean to insult you.
Well,
I'm
that's
trying to
exactly what
explain
you're
something to
doing.
you.
And I'm not going to sit here and argue about this when we're trying to help you, not hinder you. That is not what we're here
Then we
for.
want our occupancy back.
Ms. Selman, is that occupancy still being held?
I'll have to check with MinSpec on that. The last note that they talked about, this was sent out in your weekly update. It was the 4-page summary of inspections. And the last do not occupy poster remain on the door, which was posted on 9/16/2019, was last addressed on 1/21 of this year. So it does not say on here that it was taken off. So I'd have to double check with MinSpec.
Well, I'll be
on that.
honest with you, if the building, if it's insulation and get in the final inspection, there's no reason they can't occupy this thing.
I
I mean, let's be
concur.
realistic.
I concur.
I mean, Mary, we want to work with you, but to come up, let's be done throwing stones here, okay?
I'm trying to explain to you. what we've
Mary,
been
I
through.
understand. It's been,
When it
we've-
writes in the paper that you have 180 days to complete a project, even though in your building permit, it says it's only void if you haven't begun the process in 180 days. I ran that by your building inspector. He said I was right. He said it can be extended, and according to your bylaws, it can be extended as long as needed to be, as long as there's progress on the building. We have repeatedly tried to explain to you what's going on, but we're met with nothing.
but Mary, my point is, we've jumped this hurdle right now. There's different members up here that didn't want to grant you any more time, in which we've done and which I've diligently fought for you to do.
Twice.
And I'm going to
According
be
your
honest with you.
abatement- According to your abatement law, we have to abandon the project for a year before you can even bring us into these meetings. I could
But
get you
Mary,
a statute
let's,
on that.
let's, like I said, let's
We're
stop.
trying to work with you. My problem is we want our occupancy back. This is wrong.
And if you would let me finish, please. Stop throwing stones. Let's end this right now, today, be done with this. I wanted this done a month ago, over with, okay? Get the damn insulation and vapor barrier in, get your inspection done, your final inspection. We're done worrying about this.
You know, I understand that, but you have taken our livelihood away from us.
And I totally understand that.
I have a problem with that.
But Mary-
You want us to pay for a building out
Okay.
of pocket and not allow us to work?
So,
That's wrong, Steve.
so do you want the majority of this board to vote to say you're done? It's over with? You've crossed a lot of river here. Let's stop throwing stones. Let's get moving forward and end this. You can sit there and talk all day long about how you want, you're upset about it. I don't blame you for being upset.
Nor do I.
I don't blame you one
We just want our
bit.
occupancy back. There's no reason for you
It's
guys to hold
understood.
that.
It's understood, but let's not keep beating that nail on the
Give us
head.
back our occupancy.
Ms.
How long will
Selman-
it take you to get this thing
have a
insulated?
letter. I don't
It's
know.
insulated, the problem was the plastic is not.
Okay. Will you have it done by the end of this week? And get your final inspection?
It's gonna take me a couple weeks, because the problem is, it wasn't caulking that was the problem.
I know, it was tuck pointing.
Yeah,
I found that out after about 3 days ago.
yeah.
And I'm like, really? That isn't the way I understood it. So
It's
I
not either, but
get,
Steve, you have to
And I've
understand,
been
we
working
can't
the
work
last
while
5
we're.
days on it, and I still have one wall to do.
what I'm just saying, the sooner you get this done, the sooner it goes away. I don't see any reason, and it's gonna end up being with Ms. Selman and Minspec to drop your occupancy.
Okay.
I can't, that's beyond our control up here. What we've done is worked with you and worked with you and worked with you. We want this over with just as much as you do. Okay? I dread seeing this every time I come on to see my council agenda packet, that your address is on here. Because I don't want to see this happen to you all.
I like seeing you, but just not for this reason.
And like I'm saying, the sooner you get this squared away,
No, it's-
Ms. Selman, is there any reason that they can't occupy this building?
Not that I know of. They should be able to occupy it if they have we have the engineer's response. So
We
whether it
asked
just
Scott-
wasn't taken down or, I'm
We
not
have
sure.
asked for our occupancy back, and we were told she would not allow it. So
Well,
it's
I just
solid
heard, you
And
just heard
and
her
I'm
just now.
telling you that that's not true.
That's not her job.
It's not her job. That's Minspec.
Okay.
So I'll blatantly tell you
I
that
think-
Scott's
I think
lying to you.
Scott- Yeah, I think so. Because-
That's what I'll tell you.
because
And he can come and talk to
When we
me.
first started this, it was just to get the construction part signed off, and he didn't do that. He signed off on it, and then he said, no, you can't come in here. You
That's who's pulling your chain. It's not this city.
It's not the city. And he's probably turning it around and making it sound like she's the one that's bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've known her since the day she started here, and I think she's done a fabulous job, and she isn't stabbing anybody in the back unless she's forced hand to. And
She wears her heart on her sleeve, for crying out loud.
You know, guys, I really want, I'd like this to be over too, but our occupancy was taken, and the building just to the south of us is falling down, and they still have theirs.
Is there anything we can actually do, like, let's say if we decided we want to give them their occupancy tonight, can we actually do that, or no?
No.
The building official
Minspec.
has to do
So
it.
we can't do anything about that.
I'd love to do it.
I would do it right
I'd
now.
love to do it right now
We're
too, but we
complying
can't.
with everything, including things that are just thrown out, and this is just really not, this is not a good working
Well, that,
situation.
and then he also had me do the front part of the building, not just the part that was broken.
Yeah, he's got us all over the place, and that stuff's been that way for 30 years.
I've had to redo the whole front.
well, I know for a fact, when I heard the statement that you just put in a garage door, I knew that was a blatant lie because that door's been on there for 30 years. And I know that for a fact.
All right, when I
So-
came here the first time and I told you this is going on, we're just told the city. We don't have a clue who that is. So I'm upset, yes. Is it you guys? No. But who do we talk to stop this? Who do we talk to end the mess? This is ridiculous.
Miss Selman's door's always open. Miss Selman's phone is always on the hook and ready to be called.
But I'm-
Miss Selman turns around and helps every member with builder, developer, or et cetera within the city. She's done her job 110%, and I'm not kidding you by saying that woman wears her heart on her sleeve.
Okay, I don't mean to throw rocks, I'm not meaning to throw fuel on the fire. But our first experience with her was Scott coming every day saying she's gonna tear the building down if we're not done with cleaning up those bricks today.
But Miriam,
We
That's
did
not your
that
experience,
every
that's not
single
your
day.
experience with her, that's your experience with Scott. Just
Yeah.
because-
Scott told
just
us
get-
she was telling us.
Well, then.
And
but then-
Scott's
but
full
that-
of it.
That's a problem with Scott and not with Ms. Selman. Don't,
Well,
I'm just saying,
that
I'm just
explains
saying,
a lot because
I'm just saying Minspec is your problem, and
That explains a lot because
it seems like every time
know,
you guys come here,
if
there's a
you'd
new.
have just come over and talked to us. I mean, we don't have a clue what's going on. That building has been in our family for over 50 years. We've been a business in this town for over 50 years. We never cause anybody any trouble. We just mind our own business.
And why do you think the city wants to work with you? Because we know you're a fixture of this community. We know it. So why are we gonna
But we're
throw?
running into trouble and don't understand why. We sure could have used one of you guys.
Well,
to
okay, and you're telling me that I could have showed up, but you could have asked that question just as well.
What I'm asking you is we didn't know what to do. I would have liked you to come and talk to us.
My door is always open. I say it in everything I write.
Again, we didn't know what to do. So, okay,
Well,
that's fine. Okay.
It may sound like a dumb question to you, Mary, but it never hurts to ask. I might chuckle at you, but I'll answer it. We might joke about it, but it's going to be a comfortable atmosphere, and you're going to get your answers, whether I have to drag Miss Selman, Miss Wood, or whomever I have to drag in here, because you can ask everybody in this room, city staff. I've done it to each and every one of them. If I don't know that answer, I'll grab that individual and say, sit down, let's iron this out.
You know, Jeff, I kind of wish we'd have known this stuff before.
Ask, Mary.
Phone call.
I get it now. I mean, we're through it. I get it. We didn't know then.
I'm here for
It's
you,
just a bad-
and that's what I want you to understand, is I'm here and so is this council. You could call any of us. You've known Steve forever.
All right, thank you.
Call us. If you, anything further, you guys, call. Come over and knock on my door. Everybody and their mother knows where I live, so I don't mind. I just redid my house and it looks great, so I want people to see it. No, let's get it done.
So
Ms.
did-
Selman, if you can check on that occupancy, that would be fantastic. And tomorrow we'll talk about it. Councilman Collison, you have a question?
So the second extension we gave him, that stuff is all complete?
Yes.
Okay, that's,
And there was nothing discussed about vapor barrier and insulation till now.
It seems like every time MinSpec goes out there, they're adding and adding and adding.
Now you know why we're upset.
So this is the way I'm gonna understand this,
Come on
Ms.
up, Mike.
Selman. I'm gonna tell you right now, if MinSpec comes back with something else other than insulation and vapor barrier, they're done.
Sign, seal, and deliver it. Just let them go for crying out loud.
Mr. Mayor, you know, the vapor barrier and what you're talking about is part of the roof inspection. They're just separate inspections.
Yes, but I was told that I couldn't do the vapor barrier, put the insulation in the top because of the, he wanted to see the deck board.
that's why she said two different inspections.
Right. But when we got done, he had a list of this and this, he added all this, and then he wanted the front done, and he wanted, you know, he just continued on with more things.
But as far as I'm concerned, there's no other inspections that needs to be done except for that and a final inspection. So there should be nothing else added to this thing. I'm sick of hearing about, I mean, when they came in last time, I understood it as caulking, and then all of a sudden it's tuck pointing. Those are two different things.
To be fair, I didn't know what it was. I knew they had filled the gaps, and we came up as a group and said caulking. If it's tuck pointing, that, I don't know building.
Yeah.
It's not my
Nor
job to
did
know
I.
building code.
It's just, when you tuck point, you gotta actually pull the old stuff out that's bad.
And it's cement.
And then you put it. you
The
mix it,
engineer
put it
just
in.
told us to put rods through because the bricks are actually like this. The little brick is actually the backside of the big brick, so they're interlocked. So he just had us put a treated 4x4 on the inside of the wall and then roll bolts through it with plates on it to hold the wall, so the wall couldn't come out again. So it was a little bit of a shock to now go back because even the engineer didn't say you have to tuck point everything. Do you see where we're saying?
Yeah.
Every time we turn around,
Well, that's why I said this has got to be the end of it. And if he comes up with something else that isn't part of this thing, no, we're done with this. This is it's ridiculous.
This is why we're upset, because we're sitting here going, what more can we, you know, you can sit here, we're happy to do it. It isn't that, if something needs to be done, we're fine with it. We'll do whatever.
Well,
We're
like
not
I
trying
said,
to
get
be
this
difficult.
insulation and vapor barrier done and get your final
The
inspection
final
sooner than
inspection
later.
and we'll check on that occupancy for you. K2, the amendment to development of subsidy agreement for BP Metals LLC. Ms. Selman?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you may recall, in March of this year, the EDA entered into a purchase agreement and developers agreement with BP Metals for one of our industrial lots. The owner of BP Metals, Inc. Has asked to amend the subsidy agreement Due to some COVID layoffs, we did have a requirement in there that's a need to have 20 employees within 2 years. He's asking to reduce that to 15 employees within 2 years.
Didn't we discuss this?
We did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which we were okay on. It was in, it was in EDA, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we first discussed it at EDA, but then because the agreement's actually with the council, that's why we have to bring it formally through
So we
tonight.
did discuss this if you.
Motion
gentlemen-
approved.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. 5 now. Let's make note that Councilman Burgley is here. Finally. K3, resolution approving a special event application for Rum River BMX to host the 2020 Detroit Lakes qualifying event. I know Larry, one of these days, Larry, I'll get that name down. Merkowitz? All right, you can step up, Larry. Explain to us what the Detroit Lakes State
So is this
qualifier.
just a Detroit Lakes qualifier, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this year, due to a lot of restrictions, a lot of tracks could not get to their tracks and do maintenance and repair. Outdoor tracks take a lot of beatings and with our winters, and they get destroyed. So Detroit Lakes could not get to their track and do any maintenance and repairs. As a community of tracks, we have a saying, men strong. All of our tracks work together with each other, and we try to help each other out as much as we can. So Detroit Lakes has reached out to Rum River BMX and asked us if we could host their state qualifier for the Minnesota State Series. We said, yes, we could help you out for sure. We are not the only track that's doing this either. Brainerd, they have hosted now 4 state qualifiers for other tracks around Minnesota. So all the 11 tracks in Minnesota will be able to get a qualifier in. The tracks really need this revenue in order to keep going. Unlike Rum River BMX, we have a pretty decent revenue because we're able to operate all year round. Detroit Lakes, at the most, they will get us 4 months out of the year. So they need the revenue for this race to get going and keep going for the next year. So October 4th, we will be running their state qualifier if the special events permit is approved. We're also doing our Warnicki double point race. So it will be a bigger race for the city too. What it's going to be is a 400-point weekend. A lot of racers will come for this one. We will be asking for camping as well. That will be per our agreement with the city.
Any questions, comments by the council?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Councilman Collison. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Gordon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Let's move on to the resolution approving a special event permit for BMX 2020 Race for Life, the DK Gold Cup qualifier, and Minnesota State qualifier event. You'd like to speak on that one too, Larry?
Yes. So this month, August 28th, 29th, and 30th, we will be having our annual Race for Life. Race for Life is a race that tracks will put on where the fees collected will go to finding a cure for leukemia. What happened is a young rider had developed leukemia. He raced up into the point where he was taken from leukemia. This one gets me, sorry. So every year, tracks will have this Race for Life. It's one of our goals is to find a cure for leukemia. So we will donate our all of our profits and proceeds for this. The second one is the Gold Cup qualifier. Gold Cup qualifier is a bigger race. What we do is we race for a title in the region. Fortunately, this year, Minnesota is going to be able to host the championships. It's been a while since we've had the championships here in Minnesota. They will be in Mankato. As far as the Gold Cup goes, a lot of our riders this year are starting to hit the Gold Cup qualifier because we can have it here in Minnesota. So we expect also a good turnout for that Gold Cup qualifier. The 30th will be our own state qualifier, Rum River BMX's state qualifier. Of course, that's part of the 11-track circuit of qualifying for the state champions, and top riders will also get what's called a rock invite. It's the Race of Champions, where you get to go represent you and your team, and also Minnesota down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that's what the state qualifiers are for. Again, we will be do camping and parking per our agreement with the city.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thanks, Larry. Do I have approval or need discussion on the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Councilman Collison. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Burgley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Any other communications, Ms. Wood? We good?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Councilman Lundin and a second by Councilman Collison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Therefore, we stand adjourned.